Shiva and Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of the Lord Vishnu. Number 3, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Number 4, to blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version. Number 5, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. Number 6, to give some interpretations to the holy name of the Lord. Number 7, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. Number 8, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, karma kanda. Number 9, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Number 10, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success. Krishna Prema. Let us move to our once again, I thank everyone for joining the Bhakti Sangha conference call. Let us move to our next session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. May I know who all have joined the call this morning?
Hare Krishna, Nand Priya, Narada Mataji, Dandrat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Priti Dasi from Charlotte. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Preeti Mataji, Dharat Pranam. Please accept humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Nanda Priya
Hare
Narmada
Krishna.
Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Anita Ramya from Georgia.
Hare Krishna Rita Ramya Mataji, Dandavad Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Nanda Priya Narmada Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from Texas Police Station. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, Dandavad Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. All glories to Radha Madhav. Please accept my humble obeisance to you and respect to you, Zoom devotees who were present today. I am Charan Lechini from Malaysia. Thank you very much, and Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Charana Lakshmi Mataji, Dandavad Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nand Priya Narmada Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumar Devidasi from Ram.
Hare Krishna Krishna Kumari Mataji, Dandavad Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavas Pranams to you and all devotees. This is all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. This is Ekaradika Leela Devidasi. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Ekaradika Leela Mataji, Dandavad Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Nanda Priya Narmada Mataji, Dandavad Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Sushmita from Canada.
Hare Krishna Nanda Priya Narmada Mataji, accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indaleka Karma Devidasi from India.
Hare Krishna Sushmita Mataji and Induleka Karuna Mataji, Dandavad Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna. Welcome to the call.
Krishna Nanda Priya Narmada Mataji, Dandrat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Shamaguri Vidasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna Shamagori Mataji, Dandavad Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, nice to see you, Mataji, and very nice background.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Are there any other devotees who would like to introduce themselves? Hare Krishna, welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Keshavanand Prabhuji on the call to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, 17th chapter and sloka number 24. Before handing over the call to Prabhuji, I would like to ask Anita Mataji to give brief introduction about Prabhuji. Mataji, please take over. Go on.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. So today we have our class which will be given by His Grace Keshavanand Prabhuji. So I'm really fortunate to read an introduction about Prabhuji. So His Grace Keshavanand Prabhuji was a professional doctor for many years and he is now a practicing monk. Since the last 20 years, he has conducted extensive research and authored books in the field of science and spirituality. He feels the rift between science and spirituality must disappear to bring peace in the world. If spirituality is a superstition and a myth, science is materialistic and atheistic. A new approach to life is needed today that can bring the best of both. Science must embrace spirituality and be humble to admit its defects, flaws, and ignorance, and spirituality must base itself on sound, scientific, and rational ideas. His Grace Keshavanand Prabhuji has studied both Vedic and Western philosophy. Besides learning Sanskrit, he also learned Bengali, Gujarati, Marathi, and Kannada to know about other traditions. His persistent endeavor in the field of science and spirituality has enabled him to come up with seminars on diverse topics like science and the Vedas, mind and machines, science fails to explain life, consciousness, and beyond, etc. That he has presented in various colleges in India, Europe, and America. Under the guidance of his spiritual master, His Holiness Bhaktivikas Swami Maharaj, he has also started a Gurukula, a traditional system of Vedic education in Punjab, India, where children learn the ancient Vedic culture and values. Besides, he has started a farm community. The community has a traditional way of living with mud huts and thatch roofs with cows, and of course, farming. The communities will set a model for the world to show how to live a life based on the principles of simple living and high thinking. Hare Krishna Mataji. Over to you.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for the introduction. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to
Hare
Srila
Krishna.
Prabhupada Gurudev. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for giving your very valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, 17th chapter, 24th sloka, Prabhuji. Please take
Okay.
over, Prabhuji.
Okay, I'll read the verse and then we can start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That's it. 6th Canto, 17th chapter, 24th verse. Atha prasadaye natvam shapamokshaya bhamini yanmanyase hi sadhuktam mama takshamyatam sati. Synonyms word by word. Atha, therefore. Prasadaya, I am trying to please. Na, not. Tvam, you. Shapa mokshaya, for being released from your curse. Bhamini, O most angry one. Yat, which manyase you consider, he indeed a sadhu uktam, improper speech. Mama mai, tat that, shamyatam, let it be excused. Sati, O most chaste one. Translation. O mother, you are now necessarily angry, but since all my happiness and distress are destined by my past activities, I do not plead to be excused or relieved from your curse. Although what I have said is not wrong, please let whatever you think is wrong be pardoned. Purport. Being fully aware of how the results of one karma accrue by the laws of nature, Chitraketu did not want to be released from Parvati's curse. Nonetheless, he wanted to satisfy her because although his verdict were natural, she was displeased with him. As a matter of course, Maharaj Chitraketu begged pardon from Parvati. Yeah. Atha prasadaye natvam shapamokshaya bhamini yanmanyase sadhutam mamata chamyatam sati. This is the verse. And I'll just begin. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakane Chakshurunlitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Vishesh Shunyavadi Paschadishtarine Vandeham Shri Guru Shritpadikamdam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Savrijatam Sahanarmutanitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshware Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Radha Vashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so we are there on this verse, 6 chapter 17, 6 canto 17 chapter 24 verse. And what is happening here is Chitraketu, he's being cursed by Parvati because he actually laughed. He actually laughingly joked. That's what he did. And he's commented that that Parvati was sitting on the lap of Lord Shiva in public, and that he said that's not proper. That's all. Now, Parvati cursed him that how dare he speak like this to them. So Chitraketu, because he was a Vaishnav, because he was a Vaishnav, he didn't really mind that curse because he was a devotee. Devotee is very humble. Na tvam shapa mokshaya. Now Chitraketu is saying to Parvati, okay, fine, you cursed me. So I please pardon me. Please excuse me. Atha prasadaye. He said, okay, please excuse me. But then he's saying, na tvam shapa mokshaya. I'm not asking excuse and forgiveness because I want to be released from the curse. Now, this mood pleased Lord Shiva and Parvati a lot, especially Lord Shiva, because Lord Shiva is himself a Vaishnava. The idea is a Vaishnava, a devotee of the Lord, they don't have this habit of defending themselves. That's the idea again. So, why a Vaishnava doesn't want to defend himself? Why is that? Because a devotee is very humble. A devotee doesn't think that he is, I mean to say, that he's elevated. He's a devotee. A devotee never thinks he's a devotee, first of all. Amito Vaishnava buddhi hoile, amane na manat hobe. Devotee doesn't think like that. As soon as a devotee thinks he's a devotee, he's not a devotee. That's all Bhaktivinoda Thakur speaks in his songs. We are trying to be a devotee. Devotee is actually, so in itself, the word devotee is it's a big designation. We are devotee of Krishna. We are Vaishnavas. We are trying to be Vaishnavas. We are not yet pure in our minds. We are not yet involved in chanting of holy names, or we don't have any strong attraction to Krishna. Rather, we have strong attraction to material world. This kind of consciousness is not a devotee consciousness. But we're trying to be a devotee. We want to get rid of this consciousness and become pure. So that much we can say. So Chitraketu didn't think himself to be a devotee. That's the whole idea in his mind. Because as soon as a devotee thinks, as soon as a Vaishnava thinks of a Vaishnava, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, "Tabe hobe nirayagam." He'll go to hell. That's a hellish consciousness. Amani na manadob. He'll not be able to give proper respects to others. So Chitraketu, first point is, Chitraketu didn't think he's a devotee. Now what happens is, a devotee not only thinks that he's not a devotee thinks that he's a worst off person in this whole material world. That's the second point. If you go more deeper in Vaishnavism, you go more humble, you go more down, you start thinking, I'm nonsense actually. I'm the worst kind of human being in this material world. Krishna Kaviraj Swami is saying, Puri Shera Keet. Puri Shera means stool. I am a worm in a stool. Now, he's thinking like that. We can also think like that. So how do you differentiate between his thinking and our thinking? How do you differentiate between that? His thinking and our thinking. Well, he can think, we can also think. We might, or somebody might be thinking like that in his mind, okay, I'm the worst kind of a devotee. And people speak like that, I'm Prabhuji, nothing, and this and that. But the idea is a test. Now, here's a test for Chitraketu. It was a test for Chitraketu. And Chitraketu passed in the test. Parvati cursed him, and he's saying, okay, I'm asking for forgiveness, not for getting released from that curse. Shapa mokshaya natvam. No, he says, natvam shapa mokshaya. No, okay, no. I don't want to get released from that curse. And this pleased Shiva a lot, because Shiva and Parvati, actually, so right in the next verse, it is said Shiva and Parvati smiled to each other. They were very happy. Shiva is the greatest of Vaishnavas, Parvati is a Vaishnavi, and they could understand, yes, really, Chitraketu truly thinks he's not a devotee. He truly thinks he is the worst of all. And that is why he's not asking us to be released from the curse. Because if you truly think I'm not a devotee, if you truly think I'm the worst of humankind, not just a devotee, if you truly think like that, then you think I deserve this curse. I deserve it. What do I deserve? Do I deserve praises? Well, a person who thinks I deserve praises, then it means he's thinking, okay, I have some qualities, but Vaishnava is thinking I don't have any qualities. I'm the worst of human beings. I'm Naradhama. I'm not Narottama. So in that sense, a devotee, Chitraketu is not, Chitraketu in his mind is thinking, well, I deserve this curse. I deserve this. And what you deserve, you don't ask. So you don't say, so I mean to say, somebody prays, so for example, somebody gives you some food and you're hungry and you get that food. You don't say, I don't want it. Okay, fine. I'm hungry. Okay, that's okay. If you deserve something, then you don't say no to that, isn't it? That's all. So he says, okay, I deserve and I got what I got. What I deserve, that's all, finish. That's all. Game over. There's no question of asking, okay, release me from this curse. Well, due to my karmas, this happened. Actually, in this whole incident, Chitraketu is, Parvati and Shiva could realize that he's a person, because Chitraketu is saying it's all karmas. Due to karmas, there is birth and death. People get blamed, people get honored. It's all just karmas of living meaning. So he thought, fine, it might be my destiny, and anyway, I deserve this. So both of them combined, destiny and deservance. He said, fine, I accept it. That's okay. And especially when you are being cursed by a Vaishnava, that's a big honor, by the way. It's not a curse, it's an honor. If you get scolded by a Vaishnava, that's a festival, by the way. Lord Nityanand Prabhu, he actually kicked Shivanand Sen, and he cursed him. He said, your all children should die. And Shivanand Sen was happy, was dancing, and Shivanand Sen's wife, she was like pissed off. She said, I'll complain to Mahaprabhu. Shivanand Sen said, you nonsense. This is blessings of Lord Nityananda. He kicked me, he cursed me. How do you understand this? You can only understand this by a Vaishnava heart. By Vaishnava consciousness, by Krishna consciousness, we can understand this. Logically, you'll not be able to understand this. It's impossible. Any curse or any honor coming from Vaishnava is a blessing. Because especially Parvati and Shiva, they are the best of devotees, isn't it? And whatever they say, it has to be inspired by God. And Chitraketu also could understand clearly that this, whatever she caused, is an inspiration from God. He could understand, he could see that. And Parvati, they were smiling, they were happy when Chitraketu actually accepted that curse, because Parvati also knew that whatever happened now, it is all due to inspiration of Krishna. Everybody, both parties could understand. And Acharya is explaining this happened because Krishna wanted to bring Chitraketu quickly back to him. That's what Krishna's arrangement was. Because Chitraketu was Gandharva, he was chanting glories of Krishna. And again, I mean to say, he could have continued, like that, years after years. Because that's what he wanted, desired. But Krishna had another plan. Krishna wanted, no. You want to sing my glories? Come to my spiritual world and sing. Don't sing in material world. There's a risk. He wanted him back. So he made this arrangement somehow. And that both of them could understand in their mind. And that's what Chitraketu said, well, whatever happens, this is another thing. Whatever happens by this incident, Chitraketu is not asking to be released from the curse, because Chitraketu understands one very important crucial point. Tatenukampam susamikshamanam bhunyane vatmakritam vipakam. Whatever happens in the devotee, it is all mercy of God. Whether Shubh, whether Ashubh, whether reverses in life, whether difficulties, problems, everything is mercy. And that is why a devotee is not disturbed and not elated in any condition. He is focused on the mercy. He understands this. And he accepts it. Tatyanukampam susamikshamano. He accepts this as, I mean to say, he accepts it with gladness in his heart. Okay, I accept this, no problem. So he could understand it's not Parvati cursing. No. It is Krishna inspiring Parvati to do this. Even if it was not Parvati, even if it was somebody else, Chitraketu would not have done anything. He could have said, okay, fine. Parikshit, he was cursed by that. Who was that? Shringi. He was cursed by Shringi. Son of Shringi. So and then Parikshit came to know, I'm being cursed and I'm going to die in 7 days. So his natural response was, okay, leave everything, sit on the bank of Ganges, listen to Hari Katha. If anybody else would have been there, he said, first I'll kill him. First bring him, I'll kill him. How dare he curse me? Nonsense. He would have killed his father and his son, both of them. He said, no, that's okay. Parikshit could understand this is a arrangement of Krishna. He wants me back home to Godhead. So for a devotee, every news is a good news. That's the whole idea. There's no bad news in his life, in her life. If he gets a good news, that's a good news. Krishna is happy. If he gets a bad news in this material world, then he thinks, okay, fine, Krishna wants me back home. That's why these things are happening. Fine, that's okay. That's also good news. That is by one of the Saint Rumi, he said to his disciples when he was leaving his body. Rumi said, see, I'm dying. Why are you all crying and you're unhappy? Because when you lower my body in my grave, keep in mind, that's a time when I will rise up to them. So he said, be happy in that. So even death is a happy moment for a devotee. So, so there's a verse in Hari Bhakti Vilas, and it says, Hari Bhakti Vilas says that that devotion is so powerful. That devotion, tanmaya kritam papam. That devotion converts sins into pious active, into devotional acts. Any sin even done on the behalf of the Lord, that will not pull you down. That will actually liberate you. Rather than pulling you down to hell, that sin, if you do it for Krishna, on the order of spiritual master or scriptures, then that sin will not only pull you, so not only not pull you to the hell, but actually directly liberate you from this material world. That's a magic. I mean to say, you're doing sin and you're not going to hell. I mean to say, you're not even going to heaven. You're directly getting liberated. How is it possible? That's the power of devotion. Chitraketu can understand all these principles. He's a devotee, by the way. He can understand that this curse will liberate me. And that is why it is said, there's a saying, when angels curse, then that curse is not to condemn you, but that curse is to reward you. That's the whole idea. Parvati is not a foolish female. She is a devotee. She is a Vaishnavi. She knows much more than what we know. So whatever she is doing, she understands what she is doing. And especially cursing a devotee of caliber of Chitraketu in the public, she could have simply avoided it, no problem. Later, she would have warned him. You should not do like this. You should not speak like that. But she's cursing him. Why is that? Because she understands the plan of Krishna. She is actually assisting the mission of God. Externally, it looks like this is curse and they're asking pardon and this and that. No, that's not the whole point of Bhagavatam. And that's why Chitraketu is happy. Parvati and Shivji is also happy. And they are smiling. Actually, right in the next verse, it says, O King Parikshit, subduer of enemy, after Chitraketu satisfied Lord Shiva and his wife. Parvati, he boarded his plane, left there, looked on. When Shiva and Parvati saw Chitraketu, although informed of curse, was unafraid, they smiled and being fully astonished by his behavior. And that's the idea, you see. It's a beautiful verse. So the fact, this whole incident, Chitraketu is not asking for being released from the curse. It actually brings out so many qualities of Chitraketu, so many qualities of a devotee. And that's why Krishna arranged this whole incident. And after all, he arranged these incidents to be recorded in Bhagavatam through Sukadeva Goswami. There might be infinite incidences in this universe, But why this incident is there in Bhagavatam? Because it actually brings out real Vaishnava. Who is a real Vaishnava? He understands all the dynamics behind the curtain. He understands how this movie is being directed. And that is a devotee. A devotee is Pratakshavanam dharmam, Pratakshavanam. He can see through and through. Satyam param dhimahi. He can see through and through illusion. He can see behind the curtains. He can see behind the scene what's happening, what's the drama, by the mercy of Krishna. That's a devotee. And yet he thinks he's not a devotee. This is a beautiful combination which a Vaishnava has. And he's tested. And he passed. So another very important lesson in this verse is that we will be able to, Krishna is not testing him to actually test him. That's also said. When Krishna tests you, he doesn't test you to know who are you. He tests you to tell you who are. That's the whole idea. He doesn't need to know who are you. He's within your soul. He's not just within your body, he's within your soul, Paramatma, the soul of soul. He knows you more than you know yourself. But he wants to let you know who are you. Because until unless we are tested, we think ourselves, we are mostly overconfident and we think ourselves, but we are not. But in the test, when we are tested, when a soul is tested, he is completely naked. When in the test, in your test, no designations will work. Sarvapadi Nirmuktam, you automatically become Sarvapadi Nirmuktam. Your designations will not help you in that test because you're afraid, you're tense. You forget everything, isn't it? When you're on a test, you forget everything. I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. Your mind, your intelligence doesn't work. You're in a situation where you're afraid, you're anxious, you're free from anxieties, and your true original self, what you are, it just rises up. It just lays naked in front of God. And that's when you know who are you. I am this. When you're tested, then you do something. And then you say, oh my God, I never realized I could do this. But nevertheless, you did that. Out of your reflexes. Because you're that. So that is why it's mercy of Krishna that Krishna gives us tests. Krishna gives us, and Krichitakatu is so fortunate that he's been cursed by Parvati and he's put into this situation, and he took a right decision. And by this whole incident, Krishna actually glorified Chitraketu. People, I mean to say, some Gandharvas might have understood he's a devotee, but of course, many other, I mean to say, everybody didn't know he's a devotee, and what kind of caliber of devotee he is. They didn't know. Krishna wanted to show this kind of caliber he is. And not only he didn't ask to be released from the curse. He actually yan manya se hi asadhu uktam mama tat shamyatam sati. He actually said to Parvati, if you think asadhu uktam, if I've said something improper, if I did something improper, if you think like that, then mama tat shamyatam sati, then you please forgive me for my behavior. I'm asking forgiveness for my behavior. If you consider my behavior to be improper, I should not have spoken this in public like that to you in front of everybody. Okay, I ask forgiveness. And Srila Prabhupada said, Prabhupada translates, although what I've said is not wrong, please let whatever you think is wrong be pardoned. So, although Chitraketu, in and of itself, he didn't say something wrong. He said, you should not sit on the lap of Lord Shiva in the public. And that's okay. According to Lok Maryada, according to society, social conduct, that's not proper. Wife sitting on the lap of husband in public. He simply said that. So he said, okay, if my behavior was wrong, if my mode of saying was wrong, my tone was wrong, my time was wrong to speak this, I please ask forgiveness for it. So that's another point. A Vaishnava is also concerned with Lok Maryada. It's not that we have become a devotee so we can flout all the rules of the society and we can do anything and we can blast anybody and do anything. No. We have to also, as far as possible, protect dharma. Go according to the rules of the dharma and the society. Then that's very nice. Then that's good. So as far as possible. So Chitraketu is a great devotee. Devotee has good etiquettes also, isn't it? Devotee also has etiquettes, proper etiquettes. It's not that we are devotees, so we shouldn't have any etiquettes and we can do anything we want with public. They are nonsense and this. They are, of course, nonsense. Public is nonsense. They are not devotees. Of course, we know that. But when it comes to behavior, we have to behave properly. That's all. Lok Maryada. He's asking forgiveness for that. He would not have also asked forgiveness. He would have just walked away, isn't it? See, you cursed me. Okay, I accept it. Thank you. But that's another point. A devotee is always searching for an opportunity to put himself down. That's a devotee. A non-devotee is always searching for an opportunity to put himself up. He actually, devotee relishes to ask forgiveness. Devotee relishes to actually blame himself. It's just the opposite, just the opposite. That's why Krishna consciousness is 360-degree opposite to mundane consciousness. We relish to not be blamed, to be glorified. Devotee relishes to be blamed. And he says, okay, I accept. And if you think I'm wrong, fine, please forgive me. Jiva Goswami translates this a little different. Jiva Goswami says, yan manya se, Jiva Goswami says, if you think I can be forgiven, please forgive me. It's a little different, isn't it? If you think I can be forgiven, please forgive me. This is extreme humbleness. I ask forgiveness, but if you want to forgive me, please forgive me. If you wish, if you don't wish, fine, no problem. I even accept that sin. You cursed me, and if you are angry, I will accept that sin also for improper conduct. No problem. A curse and a sin. That's all. So that's extreme humbleness. So it's not that. See, so one statement you can say, please forgive me. But in a devotee's mind, that's full of vanity. That's actually, so on a level, that's actually pride. Please forgive me, as if you think you deserve forgiveness. That's not right. Even more humble situation is, please forgive me if you think I can be forgiven. And that's what actually that's what Rupa Goswami is playing to Krishna. And if you read Padyavali, Rupa Goswami is Padyavali, Stavamala. Rupa Goswami is playing to Krishna. Krishna, I have done so many offenses. If you think you can pardon me, please pardon. If you think, because in my mind, I think I cannot be pardoned. In my mind, I think I cannot be pardoned. This is how low a devotee goes. And so by his action, he didn't ask for forgiveness for curse, and by his words, he passed the test. He's the most humble devotee in the entire universe. By his actions and by his words. Yan manyase means if you think I can be pardoned. In your mind, manyase, if you think in your mind, I can be pardoned. Shamyatam means please let me be excused. Actually, and this is, if you know Sanskrit, this is more humbleness. He didn't say, if you think I can be pardoned, please pardon me. No, he said, if you think I can be pardoned, Shamyatam, let me be pardoned. This is a beautiful language. This is like humbleness to the limit. Let me be pardoned. He is not bringing first person. Please pardon me. No. He knows in his mind, my existence is insignificant. Let me be pardoned. Let others be pardoned in the same situation. That's the whole idea. I'm not important. If you don't pardon me, no problem. Let others be pardoned. That is a devotee. This verse is actually the verse which brings out all the qualities of Vaishnavas, all the qualities, all the qualities. It's a beautiful verse. And why this verse? Can you just give me the time? Just give me the phone. So all the qualities of a Vaishnavas, they are being projected, they are being revealed, and they are being glorified in this verse. And that's the beauty of this verse. Both action and words are there. Now, another point in this verse is, now this whole situation we are seeing from the angle of Chitraketu. Now, Chitraketu is using two names of Parvati, Bhamini and Sati. Here. Now, Parvati has so many names: Durga, Amba, Kali, isn't it? Now, why he is using these words, Bhamini and Sati? Now, the word Sati is important because it shows connection with Daksh Prajapati. Now, some acharyas are saying that he uses his word Sati because Bhagavatam says that as Sati, she did a mistake. Lord Shiva warned Sati, you should not go in Daksh Prajapati's yagya because he will blaspheme you, you'll not be able to tolerate, and then you will give up your life. And the same thing happened. But she said, no, it's my father and I should go, and this and that. So Chitraketu is saying Sati, he's using the word Sati. He's using the Sati in two ways. Some acharya puts this comment that he's saying that, well, you cursed me, and there's another mistake. You should not have done this. Externally, But you did the mistake when you were, Lord Shiva told you not to go and you went, and now again you did another mistake. You should not have done this. But nevertheless, that's okay. I understand it's inspiration of Krishna, it's plan of Krishna, so that's okay. No hassles. Another meaning of sati is, sati means sadhavi. There are two meanings in dictionary of sati. If you open the dictionary, there are two meanings. One meaning is sadhavi, and so sadhavi means sadhak and sadhavi. A female practitioner is called sadhavi. So in other words, Chitraketu is glorifying Parvati as a greatest of Vaishnavi by using the word sati. You're the best of Vaishnavi, and he's actually glorifying. Another meaning of sati is who walks on the path of sati, female, who walks on the path of truth. She is called sati. Sat. So in other words, Chitraketu is saying, okay, you should not have done this. You should not have spoken like this. But at the same time, whatever you have spoken, that's truth. Because it's being inspired from supreme truth by Krishna. So both angles are there in the name Sati. He really thought about it. Which name should I use? I mean, he should have said Parvati. Isn't it Parvati? Parvati. He could have used the word Parvati, but he didn't use. So he's saying to Parvati, well, you should not have spoken like this, but it's truth. Your curse is truth, and it was bound to happen because it's all Krishna's arrangement. So he let people know who were there, all the saints and all of them. They could understand by using the fact he used the word sati. They could understand what's happening in the consciousness of Chitraketu. Chitraketu clearly understands what's happening, and that's why Chitraketu was not. He was completely undisturbed. And that's why Lord Shiva and Parvati, they were smiling. They saw, okay, we cursed him to become a demon. I mean, to say what more hellish curse would be there for a devotee to become a demon, isn't it? What's more worse curse can be there? You become a demon. Okay, you fall down. That's okay. You become a human. That's okay. You become a demon. That curse is really, really intolerable. I mean, to say Chitraketu became Vritrasur, and he was forced to eat meat. He was forced to eat living beings, because as a demon, he had this craving to eat live animals and kill demigods. He became opponents of demigods. Demigods are devotees of Krishna. The curse was you become enemy of devotees. What kind of anybody can tolerate this curse? Don't give me this curse, give me some other curse. But this curse was intolerable. Completely intolerable. And he was cursed to become a demon. And what kind of demon? A demon who is enemy of Indra. A demon who is enemy of Indra. That means a demon who is enemy of Vishnu. And he's a Vaishnava. You see, this curse is like amazing curse. The curse was become enemy of Vishnu. I don't want this. So when Jai Vijay was cursed, they were cursed by 4 Kumaras to become demons. They were really anxious. They were really anxious. They were very disturbed. My God, now we have to fight with Vishnu. We will become anti to Vishnu. So Vishnu came. He said, "Don't become disturbed. That's okay. That's okay. I want to fight with you. So go do this service." They go understand. But here, that's not the case. Vishnu is not saying that I want to fight with you or something. He's like really opponent of a demon. He is supposed to kill Indra. Indrari Vyakulam Loke Mridantyoge. Krishna comes to protect Indra, and he's supposed to kill Indra. He's directly opposing the mission of the Lord. As a Vaishnava, you can't tolerate this. His curse was beyond the limits of any Vaishnava who could really absorb that curse. But he absorbed it. He absorbed it, and that is why he calls her as Sati. Why he absorbed this curse? Because he could understand that Krishna wants this. He could understand this. Okay, Krishna wants this, fine. What can I do? Even that curse is intolerable to me. Krishna wants it, that's okay. And that is pure devotion. That is pure devotion. Even if something is intolerable to you, but if Krishna wants, that's okay. And Krishna will test you. Krishna will tell you that very thing which is intolerable to you. Do this. Krishna told Yudhishthira, speak a lie. Completely against his principles. He was Satyavad. And he told the very same thing. It's completely intolerable. Krishna told Arjuna, kill Bhishma. Completely intolerable. Arjuna said, why Bhishma? He's everything to me. He's most dear. You're telling me. That's how Krishna tests his devotees and let people know that the foremost desire of any devotee is to fulfill the will of God. That's all. Even if fulfilling that will of God is completely intolerable and completely unacceptable. That's the whole point. Completely unacceptable. But that's okay. We'll do that. No problems. That's the whole idea, Chitraketu. That's why he's using the name Sati. Another name he's using, Bhamini, Parvati. Bhamini means, Bhamini, really it means a female who is angry. That's called Bhamini. There are many types of females, categories. A female who becomes often angry, she's called Bhamini. So using Bhamini, he's saying, so why he's using Bhamini? Because she cursed him now. She became angry, she cursed him. So he's using the name Bhamini, that you became angry and you cursed me. So as a Vaishnavi, anger is not good. In that sense, he's using the word Bhamini. But actually Parvati became angry not because he actually blasphemed her, but she felt that he blasphemed Lord Shiva, because he was saying that she should not sit on the lap of Shiva, as if it was Shiva's mistake to keep her on the lap, and she became really angry because of that. So in the sense, she became angry, but at the same time, he called her as Sati because of this fact also, because he could understand whatever Parvati was doing, it was right. Whatever Parvati was doing, it was actually correct. She did a correct thing. Because if a Vaishnava is blasphemed, then you have to do something, isn't it? She felt Lord Shiva is being blasphemed, so she cursed him. So Chitraketu is saying, well, you became angry, Bhamini, but nevertheless you are Sati and you walk on the path of truth. And I can understand that you did okay. And that's why he didn't get disturbed. That's why he didn't get disturbed. Because it was not for some selfish purpose she became angry. Otherwise, he would have said, what is this nonsense and this? You didn't do right. I'll curse you back. And Lord Shiva said that Chitraketu had full potency to curse her back. But he didn't that. He said, okay, fine. It is according to Vaishnava principles. Fine. That's okay. Acceptable. I did something. I said something. And you felt bad because it actually defamed Lord Shiva, brought his prestige down, became angry, and that's the order of scriptures. Okay, fine, that's fine. That's okay. Good. So in the sense, Chitraketu was seeing the curse as a right thing that happened from all angles. What Parvati did, what she did, she cursed, she should have done that. And what happened, it was plan of Krishna. And he accepted it because he was a Vaishnava. So from all angles, it was perfectly fine not to ask forgiveness from curse. Actually, if he would have asked forgiveness, please forgive me and actually remove your curse, he could have said that to Parvati. Please diffuse this curse. But if he would have said this, he would have actually lost his fortune. That's all. He would have actually been the most unfortunate person in the universe, because only by this incident he is being glorified as a great devotee. And only through this incident, Lord Shiva and Parvati became happy, and actually Parvati cursed him, but Shiva blessed him. That was the whole idea. And Parvati was also happy, it is said. Externally they were cursing, but internally they were blessing him. So that's the whole idea. When a devotee curses you, a Vaishnava takes it to be a blessing, because he knows that in the form of the curse, they are blessing him, they're rewarding him. They're rewarding him. They cursed him and they knew his behavior. They predicted what he's going to do. And that's why they cursed him, and they knew that with this curse will come a great reward to him. He'll be glorified in the entire universe. Vritrasur's name is in Rig Veda, by the way. Very few personalities' name is there in Rig Veda. Vritrasur's name is in Rig Veda. And that's quite interesting, because that Vritrasur's stuti is so important that it's been important in Rig Veda. It's such important. He's glorified in Rig Veda. That's how glorified he is now in the history. So such a great reward he got by this curse. Glorified. And he went back to Godhead. That's all. Finish. He didn't have to wait. He didn't have to serve Krishna for thousands of years as Gandharva, sing his glories in this material world and be at risk. Krishna said, finish this off, come back to me. And I'll do something by which you will be glorified. Body will anyway come and go. Some things you have to tolerate, but if you're ready, that's okay. That's what is this whole incident, this whole verse of Chitraketu. Okay, anything anybody wants to ask, I'll end up there. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for such a wonderful class. It was really very instructive. So this episode of Chitraketu actually says us that we should not find fault. The devotees are really very humble in nature, and they won't take even the curse as the fault. Instead they will take it as a mercy of the Lord, blessings of the Lord. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, for clearing that. Devotees, any questions or any questions? Yeah, Shivakumar, Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat pranams, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, from today's class, Prabhu, one question. Sometime back, there was this idea that was circulating within the devotees, that only in pure devotees' life, there is Krishna's hand in the happenings. Is one of the opinions that was kind of circulating within the devotees. That does not seem to be logical to me, Prabhu, because on one hand, it is that. On the other extreme, whatever happens, even in a neophyte devotee, there is Krishna's hand in everything. So I thought my understanding is, according to the level of surrender, can we understand that Krishna's hand is there in the devotees?
Yeah. You're right. I mean to say, Bhaktivinoda Thakur brings this fact absolutely clearly in his books, and I think which book is there? I think it's Madhurya Katamya somewhere. He raises his point whether Krishna hand is there in neophyte devotees or not. And then he raises this point. Well, if you're neophyte devotee, if new devotees, they suffer something, it's due to their karma or it's Krishna's hand. And then he says it actually appears like karma, but actually Krishna is behind that. It is actually bhakti uttita. It is not due to karma uttita, it's not due to karma, it's due to bhakti.
Okay.
It's due to Krishna, which is handling. So, but the idea is the level of involvement of Krishna with the devotee depends on the surrender. But right from the first day, Krishna is involved. Otherwise, what's the meaning of bhakti? There's no meaning of bhakti if Krishna is not involved. If, in fact, to say that Krishna is not involved in the life of new devotees and only in the pure devotees, it actually really blasphemes Krishna, because the whole idea is whatever we are doing, Krishna is doing disproportionately much more for us. That's how we understand Krishna. So even a small service, Krishna considers as a big service. That's his nature. And he tries to, in fact, Krishna made this material world so that living entities willfully want Krishna to interfere in their life. That's what this whole material world is there for. So that we change our will and we say to Krishna, Krishna, please interfere in my life. And as soon as that's what this whole scheme is there. And if he sees even a spark of this sentiment, Krishna, you are my Lord, and I want to surrender you, and please interfere in my life, he will immediately start interfering, because that's what he wants. That's his project, by the way. So to say only in pure devotees Krishna interferes and not in new devotees, I think it just actually It is actually, first of all, not actually really understanding the nature of Krishna, and second of all, it just breaks all the foundation of philosophy.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. It was insightful class today and a lot of takeaways for us, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Jyoti Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, my question is, we are servant of gopis. So, but as we start doing bhakti, or we are doing our bhakti, we are not connected to gopis. I mean, whatever limbs of bhakti we are practicing.
Well, you're wrong. You're wrong. We are all connected to gopis right from the first day. We don't realize that, but we are. You know why? Because what is bhakti? Anya Vilashita Shunyam. That's what we're practicing. Anya Vilashita Shunyam is sentiments of gopis. Well, what is chanting? What is Hare Krishna? Hare Krishna mantra is actually personal mantra of Radharani. Golo Kera Prema Dhana Harinam Sankirtana. We want to serve Krishna. That is all. We are all followers of gopis right from first day, but we don't realize that. That's the whole idea.
Yes, Prabhuji. So how to realize that in our practice, how we should connect to?
Well,
that servant attitude is not coming because I see that there is lot of independence, but that attitude to imbibe with that, how to do that?
How to do that? Well, there's a process, Shravan Kirtan, of course, that you are doing. But beyond that, if you want to do that, see, Prabhupada says, I'll tell you. Prabhupada says in Nectar Devotion, Prabhupada says there's a small technique if you want to fulfill your desires, and that is crying. If you really desire to do it, just as a child cries for the mother, that kind of desire, strong desire, then that will happen. But we don't have that kind of desire. So we have to first increase that desire more and more. The amount of desire we have, that's insufficient to actually move Krishna to bring you to that point. The desire should be like when you're dying for a breath. And that comes when we hear, when we chant, and when we actually focus on our agenda, what we are doing. That's why Krishna says, Shubha Shubha Paritag. Krishna says, don't waste time in this material world adjusting a situation. Don't do that. Otherwise, your desire will never become focused, never become strong enough, just like desire to live. Then that will happen. So that's what we have to do.
There is a gap, Prabhu, because I see that there is a gap to the desire and the service.
Yeah, there is a lot of gap. Definitely, there's a lot of gap.
So how much time that will take for that desire to cultivate?
Time, patience. It'll take a lot of time. It might take your entire life, by the way. It might take 2 lives, might take 3 lives. It might happen quickly, but we can't tell. Nobody can tell. Only you can tell how much hunger you have. But it'll take time. Krishna, that's why Rupa Swami says, Utsaha Nishchit Hairya. And Krishna purposefully will not give you quickly. He will not give you. Because if he gives you prematurely, then you will not actually realize what he has given you. So he will hold. Even if you deserve, he will hold it. He will hold, and he will want you to actually desire for it more and more and more and more. Purposefully, he'll do that. And then he will give. When finally you will say, I'll die without it. I mean to say, yeah, you will really die. And so how will Krishna know that you are saying truth or not? I mean to say, so anybody can say, Krishna, I'll die if you don't give me this desire. Anybody can say, but Krishna will know. Krishna will let you know that you're not at that platform or at that platform, because at that point you lose complete interest in this material world. Complete interest in all adjusting your situations around you. Complete interest in adjusting. You will just be oblivious to everything, be completely focused on your goal, and then things will move on. It takes time, a lot of time. It takes a lot of time.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
It is fair. You know why you think it's not fair? Because you have forgotten. Krishna can also say, you left me for millions of lifetimes. It's not fair. So I will give you after millions of lifetimes. Then what do you say about that? That's fair, isn't it? Millions of lifetimes. If you get in one lifetime, two lifetime, that is beyond anything what you call as fair. We have to remember, actually we forget our past, that's why we say it's not fair. How many lifetimes you have rejected Krishna? How many lifetimes you have offended Krishna? How many lifetimes you have cursed Krishna actually? You don't know. We don't know. I also have done. But nevertheless, Krishna says, okay, in one lifetime, I'll do it for you. So if we remember that, it is much, much, much more beyond fair. Fair word is even less enough for that, by the way.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you so much. Dandavat pranam to you.
Okay.
Hare
Very, very, very beautiful reply, Prabhuji. Really, it's
Hello.
so inspiring hearing your reply. Hare Krishna. Real me, Prabhuji, you want to ask anything?
Yeah, Prabhuji. Hello.
Yeah, speak. Hello, ni Hare Krishna.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam, Prabhuji. मेरा कुछ क्वेश्चंस था प्रभुजी.
Yeah.
हाँ, तो अगर हम कृष्णा को भूल के इस जगत में आए तो वो हमें याद क्यों नहीं है? मतलब वो इंसिडेंट्स तो हमें याद रहे.
Okay, the question is, if we have come to this world leaving Krishna, so why don't we remember that we have left him? That's the question, isn't it?
वो इंसिडेंट्स याद क्यों नहीं है हम?
So the idea is, if we would have remembered that, then we would have become mad. Because you left Krishna, who is the most beautiful, who is the most merciful, who belonged to you. So Krishna purposefully made you forget that fact, so that now you can have peacefully, you can do something, you can reform yourself. Otherwise you would have been in psychiatric hospital. That's all.
अच्छा प्रभु जी, और एक क्वेश्चन था, और दो क्वेश्चन है मेरे. वो क्वेश्चन है, मैंने आपके ही एक लेक्चर में सुना था कि वो एक कावर्ड बॉयज था, वो फिर वो जा रहा था, भगवान के गुणगान करते हुए जा रहा था, तो उसकी जो
गोप कुमार,
हाँ, वो खीर लेके हुआ था, तो उसपे उसकी थूक गिर गई उसकी, तो फिर एक गोपी ने उसे श्राप दे दिया, फिर वो इस जगत में आ गया.
Yeah, it was happened something like that. So what's the question?
गोपी क्या इतना नहीं समझ सकती कि इसके लिए क्यों थोड़ा इतना बड़ा सजा देंगे?
See, whatever is happening, see, the question is, something happened in spiritual. Vallabhacharya comments there was some curses in spiritual world, and we understand that it's all in Puranas also. There are curses and all these Garg Samhita, and there are all these things. But whatever is happening in spiritual, it's all due to arrangement of Krishna. Everybody understands. Everybody knows what's happening, and Krishna wanted to do some pastimes in this material world, and there was curses, and they came here, and this and that and that. It was just a drama to actually add spice to his pastimes. That's all. Nothing else. Yes.
So there is one question in the chat, Prabhuji. I shall read it. So it's from Bhagavati Harini Mataji.
और एक क्वेश्चन था प्रभु जी.
एक सेकंड पहले मैं कर लूं. ठीक है.
So I shall read the question, Prabhuji.
Yeah, read the question. Just yeah.
Okay. So the question is, if not Vaishnava curse us, we have to tolerate or ask for forgiveness. If a non-Vaishnava curse us, we have to tolerate or ask for forgiveness.
Non-Vaishnava's curse will anyway will not be effective, So what to do? It's redundant.
No, she's asking maybe we have to tolerate or what that.
Well, a devotee first preference is always tolerate. A devotee will always tolerate. Tam sitikshasva bharata. A devotee doesn't have a habit of retaliating, Devotees not like that. Only animals have this habit of retaliating. You do something, they will come back. Even a human doesn't have this tendency. What to talk of Vaishnava? Even a human should, okay, fine. And by the way, I'll tell you one thing. If you retaliate and if you win over that person, okay, he does something non-devotee, and if you retaliate and if you do something, okay, fine. And you were right in this and he was wrong, that's okay. But in the end, what happened? In the end, you forgot Krishna in the whole scheme and you lost. So devotee doesn't retaliate, a devotee tolerates because he doesn't want to spend his energy, mental energy, to solve these situations. He wants to spend his mental energy to remember Krishna. And that's how illusion works. Illusion will put in a situation where you're right, the other party is wrong, and you will be inspired to actually retaliate and prove, what is right, what is wrong, because I'm right. I'm righteous person. And in the end, you will waste your time. That is why Krishna says, Shubha Shubha Parityagi. Krishna says, go beyond right and wrong. It's not a good idea, because in both situations, you'll forget Krishna and you will lose your precious time and you will waste your life. So that is why we don't retaliate, we tolerate. It's not we don't tolerate because we are good and we should tolerate. No, because we'll forget Krishna. And we don't want to forget Krishna. Okay? You forget Krishna, you do whatever you want. We don't want. Fine. That's the whole idea.
Thank you, Prabhuji. That was really a very wonderful reply. So you said that we should tolerate, the devotees won't repeat back whatever it is there. But sometimes, I'm speaking of myself, sometimes I give back also. So I don't know, maybe I'm an animal, as you said.
No, everybody does that, but we should not do. It's not a good idea to retaliate, because after all, if it's a reflex, and the more we control our reflexes, it's a good idea. Because if we fulfill our reflexes, we will be again making these reflexes strong, and we'll come back to this material world. So we have to stop that things, and we have to remember about Krishna and not waste time in all those things. We all have to learn this. We all have to learn
this. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, एक और क्वेश्चन. हरे कृष्णा.
हाँ, बोलो.
हाँ, तो प्रभु जी, वो एक भक्त कह रहे थे, मैंने सुना था यूट्यूब में, कि अगर हम एकादशी के दिन मतलब चावल खाते हैं तो नरक में जाना पड़ता है. तो ये सुन के मुझे हंसी आई बहुत. तो क्या ये सही है?
Yeah, if you eat rice on Ekadashi, you'll go to hell. That's all.
मतलब मान लो मेरी मम्मी है, तो मेरी मम्मी मेरे को बिस्कुट खाने के लिए मना कर रही है, ठीक है? बिस्कुट खाने के लिए मना कर रही है, और मैंने खा लिया, तो क्या मेरी मम्मी मुझे ये बोलेगी कि तू जेल में चला जा इसके लिए?
Well, your mother is ignorant, but you have knowledge, so you should not eat. Because on Ekadashi, all the sins will enter rice and an. अब वो scientific नहीं लगेगा. Scientifically, you will think, what is this? But everything is not in the grasp of present science. It might be scientific, but we don't know the science behind it. Who knows? There are so many scientific laws.
साइंस में एक्सेप्ट कर रहा हूँ, वो साइंस है, लेकिन वो जो नरक में भेजने की, मतलब एक चावल ही तो खा लिया, क्या गलती कर दिया हमने?
गलती नहीं की. So it is not wrong to eat 1 grain of rice. It is wrong to disobey the orders of Vishnu. That's why we go to hell.
Oh.
1 grain of rice, no problem. But you disobeyed Vishnu, that is why we go to hell. That's all.
वही तो बात कर रहा हूँ. मतलब मेरी मम्मी ने मेरे को कुछ खाने के लिए मना किया, तो मैंने खा लिया. क्या मेरी मम्मी मेरे को जेल में भेजेंगी इसके लिए?
अरे मम्मी को क्या पता आपकी, आपको नहीं खाना चाहिए था. You don't disobey the orders of Vishnu. We don't want to hurt Krishna, no? If he's saying don't do this, we don't do this. That's all. Otherwise we'll be punished.
मतलब भगवान की इतनी बुरी पिक्चर क्यों है हमारे सामने? मतलब एक क्रूरता की पिक्चर क्यों मतलब बनाए? मैं क्यों बनाऊं?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I think we have few more.
Yeah.
No,
These questions are.
Whatever Prabhu said, that is correct. You have to follow his whatever he says. Don't argue. If you don't believe, then it's very hard for you to take up Krishna consciousness. First thing of Krishna consciousness, you have to believe. Whatever जो भी बोल रहे हैं वो सच है, सच के सिवा कुछ नहीं है.
जरूर मैं उसे एक्सेप्ट करता हूँ. मैं प्रभु जी की
तो फिर एक्सेप्ट करते हो तो फिर ऐसे क्यों बोलते हो कि इतना क्या कर लिया इसीलिए तो बता रहे हैं. आपको नहीं पता कितना आपको बचा रहे हो. राइस अगर खाया आपने तो आपका कितना नुकसान होने वाला आपको पता नहीं, आपको बचा रहे हैं वो.
तो इसके लिए तो मुझे थोड़ी नरक जाना पड़ेगा.
यस, जाना पड़ेगा. क्यों नहीं जाना पड़ेगा? किसने बोला?
Just one line, Prabhuji told just to follow the orders.
Yeah, yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. If you don't believe, then don't speak this kind of thing.